Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the So I Heard podcast. If you guys are new to this, I'm KD. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. And this was a first for me this week. I missed my first date for podcasting. I did 10 weeks straight, didn't miss anything, and then I missed this week. Now, there's a reason. The reason is 4th of July was there. I normally record these episodes on the weekend, and I was off. So much stuff happened on the weekend, and then it happened, on the 4th of July. And then I was like, yo, should I put out an episode after, or should I just wait until the following week? So I chose to wait until the following week, and here we are with the next episode. Here's episode 11. Now, this isn't going to be something that's going to be happening often at all. It was just something that happened at one time. Was having so much fun, man. The next day after the 4th of July, had to recover. So yeah, hopefully you guys do understand, and hopefully you guys did enjoy your holiday. So for this topic is going to be something that I was thinking about for a while, and this topic is about cancel culture. One thing about cancel culture these days, man, I can't lie and act like I like it, dude. I do hate it, and I do understand there are some bad people in the world that do horrible things. Some of these celebrities are known people. Some of the stuff comes to light. We thought that they were great people, and then once the stuff gets brought to light, we end up finding out that they've been living this secret life. Now, I feel like a lot of people do have a secret life, of course, and I think that's one thing that we treat celebrities differently on, is the fact that we treat them like they're not human. So one thing for me, whenever I look at a celebrity or anybody like that, I'm always like, yo, they're a human just like the rest of us. I don't sit there and think, oh, you're some godly ass person or anything like that, Even when I'm a fan of somebody's work, I still treat them like a human. I've had jobs where I've met celebrities, and I pretty much just treat them like anybody else. I don't go crazy and run up to them and be screaming and I need to get your autograph. I don't really do that. I normally just look at them and give them a head nod. There's been a couple of times before where it's like a celebrity kind of looks at me like I should be acting that way, and it's kind of weird. But anyway, getting back to these issues, getting back to, I guess, the mistakes that some of these celebrities do make. Now, I understand that people do put this level of pressure on celebrities by feeling like they just have to be role models. Now, I don't have a problem with, these celebrities being role models, but I feel like it is unrealistic to sit there and feel like everything that they do should be so squeaky clean. Like I said, these people are human. They make mistakes, and maybe they're not even really mistakes. Maybe they're just living life and navigating life like the rest of us. It seems like people never want to actually admit that, or they don't think about it that way. Constantly, you hear about these people being canceled left and right. And a lot of times I look at some of these cancellations, I guess, and I'm like, yo, is that really something that's really important? Like, did this person really do something that's horrible? Now, for sure, cancel the people that are out here raping people. Get them the hell up out of here. For sure, cancel the people that are out here killing people and harming people. But to sit there and cancel people for some freedom of speech is kind of crazy. I don't fully agree with that. Especially the way that they'll bring up things that people said 10, 15 years ago, and it's like, wow, that person was different. I know for a fact, in my early 20s or even teenage years, I probably said some fucked up stuff. I've probably said some fucked up stuff in recent years. But to be honest, I don't think it was something that was like, yo, I really mean harm to you. Of course, I can think of a couple of things off the top of my head that I've said to people, and I'm like, damn, I should have never said that. I was wrong for saying that. And I can own up to it. So like most of these celebrities, they do come out and they do an apology, right? And some of these apologies are sincere. At least I feel they're sincere. But then sometimes it seems like the media and the people always want them to apologize for stuff just because. It feels like you want them to apologize for stuff just so you can feel okay. One thing that I always say, especially about racism, is I feel like racism is never going to end. That's just how I honestly feel. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't combat racism and, try to stop it as much as we can. But at the same time, I feel like to think racism is going to end is unrealistic. Some people have deep-rooted personal issues with people of other races. It can be a person who was with the person. Say, it's a guy, he has an ex, and his ex is now with a black guy. This guy suddenly hates black men. Personally, he ain't had a problem with black men up until that point. Now he's so angry and mad about everything, and now he's over here like, man, I can't stand him. It's so many things that can lead up to people being racist. Some people were raised that way. Their families were doing that stuff. So it's something that they just believe. But this conversation isn't about racism, but this conversation is going to be more on how people react to certain things, right? I look at things, especially comments that were made 10 plus years ago, or man, even if it was like 5 years ago, I feel people change. I know I've changed. I know of certain stuff that I'm not doing that I once did. These cancel culture people, and I don't, that sound like I was like how people make racist statement, like these people, no, but the cancel culture people do kind of overreact in some situations. And like I said, remember, if these people are out here really committing crimes and really doing crazy stuff, then of course cancel their ass. One thing that happened recently was with Wendy Williams. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams has been in the radio game for so long. She has a TV show now, a talk show, and she kind of bashes everybody, right? Wendy Williams seems like one of those miserable people that just, I don't know. Her show is very, very gossipy, and there's been so many issues that people have had with Wendy Williams in her show. So recently, there was a TikToker that died. I forget what his name is, but he was like 19 years old, I believe. Young guy, and I forgot how he died. I believe he was shot. Now, Wendy Williams chose to start this segment off by talking about the fact that this TikToker has more followers than she does. And then the audience is laughing. But the first fucked up thing was Wendy didn't say anything about what the topic was. As soon as they showed the picture of the guy on the screen, the audience started laughing. He's young, he's dressed different, and it seemed like everybody was just kind of making this joke. So then Wendy turns around and she just stares at his picture. Then she says, he was killed. He's dead. The whole way that it was set up just seemed like it was going to be her, maybe showing his videos. You didn't know what it was about. Now, if you're not somebody that's into TikTok, you don't know who he is. I'm not really familiar with all the TikTok stars, so I wasn't familiar with who he was. I didn't know what was going to happen, and actually the caption of the video that I saw said I was not expecting that. And I think that's how it was for many people. They were not expecting the video to go that way. Now, Wendy Williams has done so much shady type of stuff. She's a person that basically covers stories on all celebrities. She wants all the dirt on the celebrity. She talks about all the dirt. And this is how she did her radio show for so long. Now, I get it. There's a lot of sites or YouTube channels or blogs or whatever where they cover a lot of stuff about celebrities. But Wendy Williams really digs deep into the drama. But then when it comes to talking about her drama, she's silent. She doesn't really want to talk about it. The only time she does talk about it is after everybody's like, well, Wendy, why don't you talk about your own drama? That's one person that I am okay with getting canceled. She's messy. She's messy. Every time I see something about the Wendy Williams show, she is being messy. There was even a point on the Wendy Williams show where she told an audience member to trick her husband into getting her pregnant. Now, I'm sorry, but that's weird. The woman sat there and said that her husband didn't want to have a baby yet, but she did. And Wendy Williams said, I'm not saying trick him, but then she made a face and like a wink. It was kind of like, I didn't say trick him, but I am saying that. Weird as hell. The video was viral. It went around. Everybody was like, yo, Wendy is tripping, man. Craziness. But not just about Wendy Williams, right? Let's go on about other situations. There's so much stuff in the world that goes on that's so messed up. And the fact that you're mad at somebody's words, and I get it. Some of these words might be hurtful to some. I get it. I can't be dismissive and act like because these words didn't mess with me, that it didn't mess with someone. But digging a decade back to find out what these people said, and you're getting mad about it, and this person within that time has shown nothing but respect for everyone. You have to look at that as change. But one thing, like I was trying to say earlier with racism, is I would rather know an open racist than a closet racist. I always say that when the conversation comes up about racism, because we do know that there are some people that hide it. They hide it because they have a career. They don't want that career to end. They don't want to be canceled. But then behind closed doors, they say some of the most messed up stuff about other races. We know it's true. We know it's out there. So I rather know, oh, this is how you are. I know what I'm getting into. I know what I'm dealing with. I think that is a comfortable feeling for me. I mean, it's still a bad situation, but I feel more comfortable knowing I know who the hell you are. Wendy Williams will go around and say that she didn't do anything wrong. She's probably going to apologize at some point because she was talked into it. I don't think she honestly feels sorry for the remarks that she makes because she does it so often. I think she doesn't care as long as she has the story. Now, on this podcast, a little bit ago, we talked about Gary Owen and, his separation with his wife, ex-wife or whatever. And he since then went on the Wendy Williams show. Wendy Williams was thirsty. She was on him talking about he looks good, asking him like personal questions that he really didn't want to answer about, the divorce and everything like that. And she went on to basically ask to go out on a date with him on national television. He seemed so uncomfortable. He said yes as friends, maybe professionally. I don't know, He seemed so uncomfortable. It seemed like harassment, bruh. That's exactly how it seemed. But Wendy Williams did it. She didn't care. She kind of made a statement kind of like she doesn't care what his ex-wife feels like, And from what I saw, it feels like Gary Owen didn't want to date anybody. You know what I mean? It feels like Gary Owen really just wanted to chill. He just got out of his serious thing. And I think he said that he wants to be on good terms with her if he can be. Wendy didn't care about none of that, And maybe people don't think that that's kind of weird. The audience on the Wendy Williams show, I don't know why the audience always seems like they're so brainwashed. Like they're just for Wendy for everything. They sat there and laughed at this young dude and didn't have any context at all. They just laughed at him. And as soon as Wendy Williams said that he died, they were like, oh. Y'all were just laughing at this dude a minute ago. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I'm a jokester. I like making jokes. I like having fun. So yeah, I say some stuff that people might not like at certain points, but if I know that it's really hurting somebody, I'm not going to say it. Now, have I said stuff in the past when I'm angry and I go off? Yes. And I feel like that is a common thing. I think that's normal. But to just be out here really like hating on people and really just acting the ass with people, no, that's not what I'm doing. So cancel Wendy Williams. When we're talking about Kevin Hart and then you guys don't want him to, do an award show because of something he said a long time ago, craziness. Kevin Hart had a baby girl and he had her in a onesie type outfit, and it was to promote one of his stand-up comedy shows. And I think it said no fucks given. I think that's what it was. Now, that's his child. I get that some people aren't comfortable with children and cuss words and stuff like that. It wasn't like the kid was saying it. The girl she can't even read it. She was a baby. She was young as hell. I think it's called no fucks given or zero fucks given, one of them. And that's all it said on the onesie. People went crazy. They're mad about it. Now, I'll go on some rant sometimes and talk about certain stuff that I don't understand, and I get it. It's my opinion. At the end of the day, though, I don't really care what these celebrities do. I'm not sitting here like, oh, my God, the celebrity did this. My life is over. I'm not acting like that. I'm just like, damn, hopefully, they get it together or something like that. That's pretty much what my outlook is. But to dig deep into these situations, no. And don't get me wrong, like people that are out here saying crazy, wild, racist stuff and, just doing too much. Yeah, maybe you should cancel them from spreading that stuff. But then at the same time, you remember back in the day, whenever you say anything, what do people say? It's a free country, freedom of speech. We're not always going to like what the other person says. We're not. That's another reason. Coming back to racism. There are some people that are so proud of their race. They don't have a problem promoting stuff that has to do with their culture. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of your race. But another person is going to look at it like, no. My race is better. Craziness. We see it with race. We see it with religion. They do it all the time. And the crazy thing is, you can be proud of your race but still accept other races. There are people of one race hating another race for stuff that happened hundreds of years ago. They've been passing down that hatred for the other. Something that always happens. So people are always going to have their opinions, right? Now, if we go and look at the situation with Bill Cosby. Recently, they said that Bill Cosby is going to be getting out. This is another thing that made me mad. Not the fact that Bill Cosby is getting out, but the fact that Felicia Rashad, the one that played his wife on The Cosby Show, said she is happy that he is getting out. People went crazy. People started acting like Felicia Rashad was evil. Felicia Rashad was backing someone that she has never had a bad encounter with. She was backing someone that she's known for decades. That's like your friend getting caught up in some allegation stuff and you like, yo, I ain't never noticed them to do nothing like that. You gonna back your friend like you should. But these days, when it comes to cancel culture, some people become so scared that they hide their truth. They'll say behind closed doors, I support you. But then when it's in a crowd of people, they're like, yo, I can't be around you. You too hot right now. And I get it. Stuff is very sensitive in certain ways. One thing that was also stupid. Back in the day, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was messing with so many women. I think Tiger Woods cheated on his wife or something like that. And the fact that he was losing deals, I don't understand that. Why are you guys taking away Tiger Woods' deals because he cheated on his wife? Same thing happened to the late Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant supposedly messed with a girl and she was saying that he raped her or whatever and it wasn't consensual, first thing they did was take away Kobe's deals. Come to find out, this woman was messing with another dude. And it seemed like they had a plan to set Kobe up. Craziness. Cancel culture does not wait for the evidence. Cancel culture just comes for your neck. That's the real thing that is ridiculous with cancel culture. It's to the point where comedians, one of the most freely speaking people out there, are now kind of worried about what they should say in their act. Now, here's the thing for me. Saying whatever you want to say or saying whatever you feel is real is realistic. Now, just by telling this person they can't say this publicly, it doesn't mean that this person still doesn't feel that way. Back to the racist, the closet racist, or the open racist. Now, I'm just using that as an example. But we sit here and look at these comedians do these shows and they're selling out and they're doing these crazy numbers and everything. Obviously, they have a fan base. They've been telling the same type of edgy jokes for the longest. Some people like them, some people don't. Now, if you don't like their show, don't go to their show. That reminds me of when Family Guy, the cartoon show, first came out. It was on Fox. I remember it ended up getting canceled or something, and then it came back because a woman let her son watch the show, and she wanted to complain about it, talking about how wild it is. If you've ever seen Family Guy, it's not really a children's show. It's an adult cartoon. So that brings me to other things these days. The fact that Family Guy was treated a certain way back then, right? And I don't want people to hate me or take this the wrong way, like I'm just being homophobic. But one thing that's crazy is Family Guy made adult content. The lady let her kid watch Family Guy, then she went on to complain. It happens a lot with video games. It happens a lot with other things. One thing that Netflix did was Netflix put out a show. It is a RuPaul show. RuPaul is like, he's a man, but he does like drag and everything. He has like multiple shows. RuPaul has been around forever. Nothing wrong with RuPaul. I ain't never really heard nothing crazy about RuPaul. I heard he's supposedly a nice person and everything. Shout outs to RuPaul. But they made a cartoon, a drag cartoon, and it's on Netflix. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there are a lot of people that are uncomfortable with their kids knowing about this stuff at such a young age. But as we go on and we progress, things become more and more accepted. And there's nothing wrong with things becoming accepted. Let people live the way that they want to live. It's not your life, it's their life. Let them be happy. I don't have hate at all for anybody going to make their own decisions. Love who you want to love. That's all I can say. Love who you want to love what you love to do. But the fact that this show was put out on Netflix and it was just like, all right, cool. Don't nobody say nothing about it, because now if you say something about it, we're going to look at you like you're a homophobe. Craziness, right? Now, I get it. Family Guy does push things. Family Guy has some wild-ass jokes. Much like South Park, if you guys have ever seen either one of the shows. But at the same time, the fact that there are so many people that are like, I would rather have this conversation, just like having the sexual conversation with their children. They would rather have that conversation with their children. It's something that is serious. It's something they want to ease their children into. But then this show was on Netflix. Now, I don't know how they had it categorized. I don't know if it was like, something kids can find under the kids section of Netflix or what. But what I do know is Family Guy had a mature rating. They still got in trouble. And that was in a time where stuff was a little bit more accepted as far as being like raunchy and stuff. This was before people were really complaining and cancel culture was such a big thing. That was back then. So the fact that everybody is canceling all this stuff and making these big deals out of all of this stuff, some stuff is accepted where it wasn't before. And like I said, it's not a problem with it being accepted, but it's like, how do you choose what should be accepted and what isn't? I guess that's the best way to say it. How are you here saying, okay, well, we're just going to throw, some homosexual stuff. I don't really know what to call it, but we're going to throw that out there, and other stuff you can't say. People cursing it in certain ways is bad. I don't like how everybody is supposed to be a role model. You see these people that are adults and they have children. Where did you think their children came from? The store? They had sex to have their kids. Why are you acting like this person has to be a role model to so many younger people? Obviously, they're out here having sex. And if they're having sex, they might be drinking. You don't want kids to be drinking. Why are you treating them like a role model for fucking children? I don't get it. You can't sweep some stuff under the rug and be like, all right, well, we're not going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Charles Barkley used to say, I am not a role model. I thought that was great. I thought it was great because you're an adult, and I get it. There's kids that want to play basketball and be like Charles Barkley, but at the same time, that is a grown-ass man. This stuff has even went into other media. Well, obviously, but I'm talking about like YouTube. The fact that there's so much stuff you can't do on YouTube now that you were able to do before. You can't say certain stuff. Just as far as like even curse words. YouTube has become so family friendly in a way. And I'm saying in a way because there's big name studios or YouTube will put out a show where there's like mature content and it's perfectly fine. But when the content creators step over and make something that's a little bit more edgy, it's like, oh, whoa, that's frowned upon. I don't understand it. How are you choosing that? How is it cool for a big name studio to say something that's on the edgy side, but then the content creators that are adults, they can't say it? Now, I get it. YouTube is a little bit shaky because there's a lot of kids that watch YouTube, right? But there are restrictions. They made menus or options through YouTube to say, hey, is this video suitable for children? No? Okay. That right there should dead all of that. That should get rid of all of those issues. If a kid watches my video and my video says that it's not for children, don't come to me complaining. I put the restriction on there. Your kid somehow found the video. They watched the video. That's not my fault. So don't tell me that I have to make family-friendly content. It doesn't make sense. So then there's so many people that are scared. They don't want their channel deleted. They've had their channels for years. You know? They're scared if they say certain stuff, the kids might find out and they're going to get canceled. These people are grown people. Some of them have children, like I said. Where did these children come from? They're doing adult things. And it's stupid because later on, when there's a slip up and they somehow find out that these people are doing adult things, they get excuse me. When they find out that these people are doing adult things, they get mad. They act confused. But then it's these parents that also have children. So you've been doing adult things. So why are you complaining? Kids need to stay in the kids' place and adults stay in their place. Plain and simple. If your kid stumbled across something, that's on you. I put my restriction stuff. Now back to the Bill Cosby thing. Now they wanted Felicia Rashad to apologize. She came out with an apology saying that she didn't think that her statement was going to be hurting people. She didn't know how it was going to affect others. And I feel like she shouldn't have had to make a apology at all. If you stand by your friend, stand by him. Even when it was just considered an allegation. Well, obviously, because he's getting out of jail. But even when it was stuff like that, like when there wasn't really that much evidence, it's to the point where cancel culture acts like they don't know that people lie. Right? I'll use another example. The artist Chris Brown. There has been a couple of women that have came out and said that they were pregnant by Chris Brown. Come to find out, they never even met Chris Brown. That's crazy. But hearing that, there is a whole bunch of people that are like, oh, Chris Brown's a deadbeat. Chris Brown don't do this. Chris Brown don't do that. It's a whole bunch of he said, she said. Why are we not waiting for the evidence? Why are we not waiting for this proof? Why are we making this judgment call early on? Cancel culture needs to chill. You know, if there's evidence there and these people are really doing the dirt, then all right. Get them up out of here. But in a lot of ways, we are allowing certain people to act a certain way, act stupid, act insensitive, and they're still out here on platforms. But we're over here digging up tweets from 2010 on people. Then when they make an apology and you guys feel like it's not a good enough apology, then you want to be like, oh, they're faking it. They're not sincere. They don't really care. And maybe some of them don't. Maybe some of them are just saying it because they want to keep their careers. But then there are some people that are really sincere. It's crazy. It's a whole bunch of picking and choosing. We got to look at the facts. We got to look at the evidence. We can't just be sitting here and going crazy. And this is something we heard about 2 hours ago. And now we're talking about cancel them. First time we ever got word of anything, 2 hours ago. Y'all talking about canceling somebody already? But then there's a whole bunch of people out here really doing dirt and really acting the ass out here. And it's like, nah, we acting like we didn't see nothing. I don't understand it. So that is my frustration with cancel culture and why I don't understand it. Why I feel like this stuff needs to be changed. But I feel like it's not going to be changed. Because you have a lot of people that are sensitive to certain topics, certain things. You can pretty much get canceled for almost anything these days. It might seem like something that's so minor, but there's going to be a group of people that are going to dig deep into it and act like they're so affected by it. It's wild. I low-key hate these times because we're taking the realism out of everything. And I get it. Some of the realism is hurtful to others. But at the same time, now you have a whole bunch of people out here being fake. And like I said, there is going to be a time where these people are going to slip up. And I don't even really want to call it a slip up because if they're doing what the fuck they're doing what they're doing. I don't want to call it a slip up like they're caught up, like they're on probation and they slipped up and now they got to go back to jail. You know what I mean? Like if they're out here living their life, and yeah, they're saying some fucked up stuff. Okay, we remember, we know. But we know who we're dealing with, bruh. People are going to say whatever. If they don't say it in public, they're going to say it behind closed doors. Somebody's hearing it. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like bring back the real. Bring back the real. Allow people to say what they want to say. If we choose to not mess with them, we choose not to mess with them. Plain and simple. I don't know. Thank you for listening, man. If you guys want to check out my socials, I'll leave all the stuff down below if you guys are looking at Red Circle or if you guys are listening to this on YouTube when I post a video. All of my stuff is down below. If you guys are listening on Spotify, go check out my Instagram. It's at KingKD. If you want to check out my Twitter, it is who_is_KD, 2 underscores. It feels good to be back, man. It feels good to have this conversation and talk about some stuff. Stay tuned for more, man. Subscribe, follow, all that. You guys stay dope, and I will check you out later. Peace.